There must be someone up above. Say you come on, Brittany. You got to come on. You got to hold.
Where are you at? Are you home?
I'm in Brockport.
Are you really? Are you on
Yep.
campus?
No, I'm off campus.
Are you off campus?
Yeah, I live off campus. One of my roommates, he's from like Binghamton area. So he didn't want to go home because he felt like he wasn't going to get any work done. So him and I are in like two classes together. So I was like, I'll stay in Brockport with you. Like, that's no problem with me. So
Yeah.
I go home once in a while. Like I was home yesterday, helping out my mom and my sister, but nothing new. Just staying in Brockport, getting homework done, and just hanging out.
What's it been like for you? I mean, you're a college student, you're a
Mm.
college athlete, you're a high school football coach, and you're a middle school basketball coach. You have a lot on your plate. What's been your experience from the start of this about a month ago now? Take us through what it was like in your world and how you got to be where you're at right now.
um, it was crazy. So I think it was March 13th. Waking up on a Friday, was like really happy. Had a internship interview. Really happy. Went to the interview, got the internship. So I'm ready to roll. Like it's spring break here at Brockport College. So I'm like, it's gonna be great. We had a men's lacrosse game the next day, so just pregame practice.
Yep.
Then we all go to the locker room around like 3:40, preparing for practice, and our coach is like, "Our season's over." And I just sat in the locker room, just couldn't really understand it, to be honest. And I was just so confused because for us, we were on a hot streak. Started the season 2-1 with two big wins, and we were feeling good about ourselves. And um, really hurt me, and it was really sad to see some of the seniors start crying. Never really seen them cry before, even
Yeah.
though they're my buds, my teammates. I never seen them cry, and it just like hit me, and it's been crazy ever since. Crazy ever since, and like you said, I really have a busy schedule. So now, like we're at a little bit over a month since March 13th, and I've been going crazy the past 3 days. Like, man, I need to get out. I need to. It's weird not working, quote unquote working,
Yeah.
but best way I can take up time is doing a lot of homework. I've been catching up on homework, like trying to finish the semester early, pretty much.
Yep.
Get ahead of my work. I'm learning how to cook, so that's
What?
that's another way to pick up time. So yeah, it's been crazy, but I'm starting to enjoy it more. Hanging out with my roommate, getting to know him a little bit better than I did,
Yeah.
and we're just grinding on homework pretty much.
I mean, back when you discovered that your, Brockport lacrosse season had ended, right around that time, I don't know exactly the day, but Jordan Hogan, he's the wide receivers coach at Cornell. He also is the one who recruited Onami Kessington. Had
Mhm.
reached out to me and said, "Hey, we're going to be," he was the first one to tell me, "Hey, we're going to be potentially closing off activities." And I'm like, what? I mean, closing it off for
Yeah,
for coronavirus or whatever. And Cornell must have been ahead of the game because they were one of the first people to at least to communicate it to me that they were going to make some changes and things were coming. And I was in shock then too, man. I was like, wait, you're going to
yeah,
send Nami home? What about spring ball? What about this? What about
yeah,
that? It's just sort of, you know, s- steamrolled ahead into more and more things, to the point where our basically most of our country's been shut down, and everybody's found their own way to adjust. Everyone's found their own way
yeah.
to adapt, and there's no right way. I would guess there's no wrong
Mhm.
way per se. I don't mean to pass any judgment on anybody or to give anybody any advice or anything, but your way is, as you said before, you're used to working a lot. You're used to giving back and doing your part to help other people. So this is we really wanted I wanted to try to find a way to get your voice out there to the Fairport community, to our athletes, to, you know, our coaches and everybody else, to learn a little bit more about your background and how you are adapting to this, because there's people in similar situations to you that came up in the Fairport world. I mean, there's senior athletes right now in high school that, you know, in the same boat you're at as a college athlete, they're at as a senior in high school. And I just feel for them, because as you know, that feeling of seeing your friends, you know, upset. I felt the same way having a full spring season as an athlete way
Mhm.
back in my
Right.
career, just ending, you know, just saying goodbye to high
Right.
school sports. I mean, it was, you know, something you poured your heart and soul into. You're playing next to all your good friends. And
Mhm.
but I just wanted to give, you know, the community a chance to get to know you a little bit better, and also learn from you, and hear some of your strategies, because, you know, there's no right answers necessarily. Everyone's got their own thing, but you know, so you're working on your academics. I mean, that right there is something that, you know, maybe
Yeah.
there's kids out there that don't think that's important right now. So speak on that a
Mhm.
little bit. What's your message to our Fairport athletes, both current and, you know, maybe some alumni that are out in college? What's your best advice for them for their daily habits and academics?
Um, just having a schedule. Every day, I dedicate a day to a class, at least two, three classes. Good thing about myself, I'm kind of used to this, having classes online. Like before the school shut down, I was already scheduled in three online classes, so I was pretty used to this. And so I just keep a schedule, keep a long list right next to me on my desk, and each day I try to get at least three assignments done. Pretty much something nice and simple, nothing hard. Uh, and really plan it out each and every day so I can stay on top of things. And when I'm on top of everything, I can look ahead, try to complete some more assignments. So it's not stressful when the due dates start coming around. I love to get assignments done at least 2 days before it's even due, so I can rethink, relook at it. And if it's not the best work, I have to make sure it's the best work before I complete it and hand it in into my professors.
That's a
So yeah, so one thing I would just say is stay on top of everything. It's better to be ready than to get ready.
Yeah.
So just
I mean, it sounds like you're chipping away at your work rather than
mhm,
waiting for the last minute, is what you're saying, is instead of, you
yeah,
know, because a lot of people do that, both, you know, teenagers and adults will wait till the last minute to complete their projects, but you build a list, you chip away at it. You know, you're saying three classes and assignments, different assignments, you know, a day. That's a great way to, if you take the context of that out, I mean, whatever your projects are, you guys, and you have things building up, you know, the way Coach Pryor is, you know, meeting those demands is that he's chipping away at a small, you know, chips each and every day add up to, you know, a mountain of accomplishment. And that's, you
mhm,
could argue that's the same for your academic habits. It transfers to your personal habits, and then it transfers to
mhm.
your physical fitness and that kind of thing. Are you able to stay in shape right now, Jahadi? Are you working out?
Sort of, kind of. Every night I do my 100 push-ups and 100 sit-ups before
Yep.
bed.
Yep.
During the day, my roommate and I might run to the backyard, throw the football around, get our lacrosse sticks in our hands, and might run a couple sprints, but nothing crazy. Just because we're mainly focused on our academics right now.
Yeah.
Like it's a great opportunity to get a 4.0 this semester. Great
Yeah.
opportunity, so might as well take that opportunity first and foremost. Since we're a spring sport, we have a whole year to still like bounce back in our physical activities, but 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups a night is what I got right now.
I mean, you have the champion's mindset. You have the mindset of somebody who's prepared to win the day and win the moment. You're a first year varsity assistant coach on our staff, and man, that was a blast to have you.
Absolutely.
Definitely a dream come true for me, because, you know, way back when, you know, you came up to the varsity with some 7-on-7 things with Coach Wickham and Keyshawn and all those guys, and they were older than you, but it wasn't even before Keyshawn. It would have been
Yeah,
Vaughn.
Kevin Vaughn. Yep.
You know, you're at these tournaments, but you held yourself like a champion, even as an eighth grader. You held yourself with confidence. You've always been comfortable who you are, and it transferred then. And then seeing you in class and school and the hallways in school, you always carried so much pride at being in Fairport that you didn't take it for granted in the least. In fact, you took you took your experience and you elevated to the point where people wanted to be around you. And so being given all that, I noticed that stuff. Man, I was trying to recruit you back in those years. I was like, hey, someday you're gonna come
Yeah.
back and teach and coach in Fairport. And you know, is outside of the realities that sounds at the time, to have it actually come full circle and to have you on the sidelines, working with our athletes in Fairport, in your kind of your hometown where where you came through for school, is just extraordinary, man. It's so cool. But you know let's talk about that. So you came up, um and you had the chance to coach for your first time in Fairport. What was that like for you, start to finish, in your first year on the sidelines?
I was nervous. I was nervous to be very nervous. First meeting all the coaches, the newer coaches, and being next to you was like nerve wracking because I was like, man, like I'm next to my role models now. Like I'm part of them now. I have to really step my game up, to be honest. And honestly, that first home game, I was probably more nervous than the kids were, to be honest. Because I was like, man, I'm gonna hear the red during the national anthem from for them student section, and it was awesome. I loved it. I was nervous, but I loved it. So excited for this upcoming season. That's been another thing I've been doing during this quarantine, a lot of coaching clinics, reflecting on myself, on how I coach, and instead of looking at the players on how they can develop, really learn how to develop myself as a coach so I can help improve them. And it was awesome. I absolutely loved coaching football and being able to coach the modified basketball level, learning those guys because I know a lot of them are going to be football guys. Try to recruit some more kids to play football. So it was absolutely awesome. I can't wait to do it for a very long time because I love Fairport community and it's amazing.
Yeah, and one of the things that you bring to the table that was, I would say, unique for a first year coach, was the way you coached your individual groups. So as you guys, for our listeners, we break up practice into individual groups: the running backs, the quarterbacks, the wide receivers, and then defense, we do the same thing. But Jahadi exclusively worked with the running backs in 2019. And I always pay attention to how the coaches handle those individual drills. Were they prepared ahead of time? And how did you hold each kid accountable? And I noticed that you treated every kid fairly. There was no bias. Every kid you treated as if they were fighting for that starting spot, or fighting for some carries, or fighting for reps. And that I can appreciate greatly, because it's hard to do that for any coach. And especially when people want the ball. I mean, that's the nature of that position that you coach.
Yeah.
But you held them to a high standard. You held yourself to a high standard. And I think every coach can learn from that at any level, is that you were very even tempered. You were prepared, very disciplined, and that showed in our running backs and overall as our team. And you spoke on coming up in the Fairport community. When did you start in Fairport? What was your experience like? Take us through the heart of that.
So I moved to Fairport 5th grade. My first ever teacher slash coach was Eric Carlson,
Mhm.
5th grade North Side. He introduced me into the game of lacrosse, and he was the one person I would say from Fairport that I'll never forget, because he really installed a lot of value lessons into me. Everyone that was in that 5th grade class, they know we had to do push-ups, workouts during class. He got us fit. Yeah, he got us fit just in 5th grade, and because of him, I am the man I am today. He brought a lot of value into my life. and then growing up in middle school, just working hard, worrying about my academics more than anything. And really, the sports and all the coaches that I've met in Fairport is the reason why I'm successful in the classroom. Because without them and without their lessons that they taught me, I wouldn't have been, probably would have never graduated from Fairport, to be honest. And I really value the community of Fairport because they grew me. They grew me into the man I am, and can appreciate the whole entire community and teaching and all the staff enough, to be honest.
Well, that's awesome, man. I mean, it goes both ways, right? So there's a synergy there. You feel like people influenced you from Fairport. Well, you influenced Fairport too, and the energy, the positivity you bring to the turf, to the classroom, to the gym and basketball, which we'll touch on next. That all, it's like you're giving it back in spades now. That positivity and that energy, and you have more influence now than maybe people have when they're coming up as a student and they're sort of part of their peer group. Now all of a sudden you have the ability to reach young athletes in a way that it can be really powerful. And so you, not only were you a first year football coach, but you were Coach Fitch reached out to me and said, "Hey, do you know anybody who would be a great coach in my program?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I got a guy." I mean, Jahadi Price, money. You're atop my list for all those things. And I said, reach out to him. He's busy schedule, but I was really excited to hear that you guys connected and you got hired to take on. It was it the 7th grade team or the 8th grade team, or was it 9th?
They're combined 7th and 8th grade.
Oh,
so Mod B.
So you coached the Mod B your first year as a basketball coach. Let's take us through that. So take us through first your interactions with Coach Fitch and then through your season.
So Coach Fitch called me on like a Wednesday night. We had like a night practice, I believe. And he called me Wednesday night on my drive out the Fairport from Brockport. And we just had a small talk. And then he asked me what was my thought about coaching Fairport basketball. And I couldn't stop smiling at all. Couldn't stop smiling. I was like, wow, like Coach Fitch is calling me to coach. Like, wow, I can't believe this. And when I got to Fairport, I called my grandmother. She couldn't stop smiling. Like, it was just unbelievable. And then I found out I was coaching with Coach Gebhardt, Ralph Gebhardt, and I love working with that man. He's a character. He's a great guy. The way he interacts with the kids is awesome.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. And it was great. I was very excited. Tryouts was nerve-wracking, just overwhelming with 85 kids in one gym.
Wow.
And I was just shocked. I was like, wow, I can't believe this. I didn't remember 80 kids trying out when I played basketball back then.
Yeah.
But it was nerve-wracking at first. But once we got the team down, I really wanted to connect with my 15 to 17 players that I had. And it was a blast. Those young kids had a lot of energy. Goofballs on every terms you can think of.
Yeah.
So they definitely kept me laughing, kept me happy, and we played well, 9-2 season. So very, very pleased on how the winter sports season went for sure.
Well, congrats to you. 9-2 season. My first year as a coach of anything, when I was 21 years old, I took over a modified softball team in Red Jacket, and we went 1-11. And I lost my first game as head coach 38-1, but a lot of things have changed since then. But it was a great exercise in humility. But I did notice some pictures from you on the court. You were much more dressed up on the court than you are on the football field, which is natural. But man, you were fresh out there, dude.
Yeah, some of the football players like Matt Scarpelli, he was chirping me a little bit. He was like, "Why aren't you dressed up for football?" I was like, "Maybe I'll dress up in a shirt and tie for one of the football games. You'll see."
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, I mean, what an experience that must have been. 2 seasons in a row, you get to coach in Fairport. We get the chance to have you, mentoring and leading our kids, and we're really lucky to have that that relationship. And we've obviously been meeting as a football staff for the last month, a bunch of times, trying to, as you said, develop ourselves as coaches, also improve some of our program wide,
Hmm.
just things that we do from the ground up. And I'm really pleased with the direction of that. And
Yeah.
what other messages you have to close up today for people that are out there, that maybe are a little unsure, younger kids or teenagers, or maybe even, people your age or anybody. What advice do you have, just personally, for how to manage some of the mental health things that might be happening for people through this situation?
I would say find your niche. Whatever you love, whatever you enjoy doing, find that and continue to work on that. Because this is a perfect time, no matter what it is, you got enough time to work on it. Keep spending time with your family, enjoying one another, because you don't know when's your last day on Earth. Like a lot of people know, I always tweet, "Thank God for another day," because it's really something I believe in. Because every day is not given and you have to enjoy each and every day. Like during this time, my grandmother and I would talk on the phone every day, maybe 3 times a day, because she just loves talking. So I'm always there just listening to her. She's a great storyteller, so I just let her keep talking. And I really enjoyed just that phone call, that 20-minute phone call from her. Um, so enjoy your family as long as you have them. Find your niche and get ready. Get ready so you don't have to start getting ready late. Like be ahead of the game. Understand this is not going to last as long as we think. As long as everyone follow the rules, you'll be back out there sooner than later.
Hey, those are beautiful messages. I mean, going back to the conversations with your grandmother, what I wouldn't give to have one more conversation with either one of my grandmothers, God rest their souls. But I was very close with both, and even my own mom, same thing. I would love to have one more conversation. So as Coach Pryor, you bring up, it's so powerful just to connect with the people that you care about and spend that time. And I see those tweets. You've been doing that for years, man. Thank God
Yeah.
for another day. And I don't know what you changed in your settings, but I was finally able to retweet it like a month ago. I'm like, hey, here we go. So, yeah, I think you've done a great job communicating some positive and powerful messages. And we thank you so much, Jahadi, for your time today. Look forward to catching up with you sometime soon.
Absolutely. Thank you, Coach Viticore.
All right. Take care, brother.
Yep. See ya.
See ya.